Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're a modern knowledge worker today, chances are you've been feeling, well, a little anxious lately. It makes sense, right? The headlines are absolutely dominated by artificial intelligence, and honestly, the narrative often feels like a countdown to our own obsolescence. But what if the data tells a completely different story? Today, we're going to look at the hard evidence. We're laying out a grounded, fully data-backed roadmap to show you exactly how to survive and, honestly, more importantly, how to build unprecedented leverage in this new AI economy. So, this is the question we really have to confront head on. Is this an extinction event? It's perfectly natural to fear the whole AI apocalypse when new, mind-blowing models are literally dropping every single week. But as we dig into the data today, we're going to completely reframe that fear. Because the reality of the job market right now, it's telling us something absolutely incredible. Just take a look at this number. According to some recent market analysis from tech strategist Nate B. Jones, there are currently 3.2 AI jobs for every single qualified candidate. Think about that for a second. That means there are more than 3 open roles desperately looking for someone, anyone, with the right AI skills. So no, this isn't a moment of replacement. It's a moment of unprecedented, practically infinite demand for the right kind of talent. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, not AI, but IA. Second, the great skill repricing. Third, a case study on software development. Fourth, 7 essential AI skills. And finally, number 5, your operational leverage playbook. All right, starting with section 1, not AI, but IA, intelligence amplification. To really understand where our careers are going, we actually need to look backwards at the foundational theory of computing. A lot of the panic we feel today comes from a fundamental misunderstanding of the tool itself. We focus way too much on autonomous machine replacement, and we entirely miss this concept of human augmentation. What we're really dealing with here is intelligence amplification, or IA. And this isn't some new Silicon Valley buzzword either. It was proposed way back in the 1950s and 60s by cybernetics and early computer pioneers. The goal was never to build an autonomous system to just replace you. Actually, from the abacus all the way to the internet, the goal has always been to build mind amplifiers that support and extend human reasoning, problem-solving, and decision-making. In fact, back in 1956, W. Ross Ashby pointed out that problem-solving is largely a matter of appropriate selection, and this brilliantly illustrates our point, because human selection and human judgment are the absolute core of intellectual power. The machine simply amplifies that physical and intellectual capacity. The modern reality we live in is that your judgment as an operator is paramount. The AI, it's really just the synthetic muscle that you are flexing. So when we talk about AI today, we're specifically looking at subsets like machine learning, neural networks, and deep learning. These are incredibly sophisticated pattern recognition and natural language processing tools. They're powerful, sure, but they operate within very strict boundaries. At the end of the day, they are just tools in a toolkit, and they absolutely require a craftsman to guide them. Moving on, section 2, the great skill repricing, or the macro shift we're seeing in the market. Now that we've grounded the technology a bit, let's look at the macroeconomic reality. AI is not this blanket job killer that's going to wipe us all out. Instead, what we're experiencing right now is a massive structural repricing of human skills. We're looking at a very sharply K-shaped job market. On the downward slope, traditional knowledge work like generalist product managers or conventional analysts is seeing flat or even falling demand. The market is basically treating those mid-skill, highly repetitive analytical roles as a commodity. But on the upward slope, AI operator roles are seeing explosive growth. If you are someone who designs, builds, or operates AI systems, you can essentially name your own price right now. To put the desperation of these employers into perspective, it currently takes an average of 142 days. That's almost half a year to fill a single AI role. Companies are sifting through hundreds of applicants who basically just know how to casually chat with an AI, and they're desperately looking for true operators who understand how to actually build and evaluate these systems. And hey, this isn't just a Silicon Valley phenomenon either. Take the southeastern United States, for example. That's a $3.5 trillion economic bloc. Anchored by Atlanta, it's home to massive physical operations. Think Delta Airlines, UPS, the Home Depot. AI adoption in places like this isn't some virtual hype. It's physical, operational reality. We're talking supply chains, healthcare systems, complex logistics. If you can integrate AI into these massive physical workflows, you literally hold the keys to the kingdom. Let's move to section 3 and see how this builds into our case study on software development, providing some real data-driven proof. Now, what's really interesting about these numbers is the sheer scale of the productivity gains. Studies tracking professional developers using generative AI show feature implementation time dropping by nearly 57%. Routine tasks like code generation and basic database implementations are seeing well over 50% improvements. The machine is taking over all that repetitive boilerplate work and is amplifying the developer's output massively. But, and this is a massive but, look at where the AI completely falls flat. When researchers evaluated AI-generated code, they found a 73% failure rate when it came to true contextual understanding of business requirements. In highly regulated industries like healthcare or finance, AI failed compliance standards 77% of the time. And for complex architectural decisions, it failed over 70% of the time. This is exactly why the human operator is irreplaceable. AI completely lacks domain context and real architectural wisdom. Which leads us to this staggering reality. In enterprise environments, nearly 95%, 94.8% to be exact, of critical system components built with AI absolutely require strict human oversight. So the AI isn't replacing the developer at all. It's actually promoting the developer to an editor, an architect, and a critical validator. All right, section 4, 7 essential AI skills. This is your micro playbook. So if traditional execution is becoming commoditized and system architecture is now at a massive premium, what exactly do you need to learn? Well, here are the first 3 core operator skills that employers literally cannot find fast enough. First, specification precision. You have to learn how to speak clear, incredibly literal English to a machine, defining exactly what you want it to do, and just as importantly, what not to do. Second, evaluation and quality judgment. Can you accurately spot errors in the AI's output? And third, multi-agent task decomposition. Honestly, this is just highly paid management. It's taking a massive project, breaking it down into logical chunks, and delegating those chunks to various AI agents with really tight guardrails. The fourth skill is a huge one: failure pattern recognition. You see, human beings stumble, we hesitate, we use filler words when we're wrong. AI does not do that. AI is often fluently, confidently wrong. You need the critical thinking skills to look right past that confident presentation and diagnose exactly when and how the system is breaking down. This means identifying really specific failure modes, things like context degradation on long tasks, or my personal favorite, sycophantic confirmation, which is where the AI just blindly agrees with your bad data to make you happy. But the most dangerous one, the silent failure. This is where the output looks totally plausible on the surface, say it's recommending a brown boot, but functionally, your warehouse is shipping a blue boot. Catching these silent failures requires deep human subject matter expertise and a serious investigative mindset. So the crucial point is that skills 5 and 6, trust and security design and context architecture, are where you really level up. You need to know exactly where to put the human guardrails so the AI doesn't, send out a catastrophic financial wire by accident. And with context architecture, you're essentially building the Dewey Decimal System for your company's data. You're ensuring the AI pulls the exact right document at the exact right time without getting totally confused by old or dirty data. And the final skill? Cost and token economics. AI models burn through things called tokens, and tokens cost real money. You need to be able to mathematically assess the blast radius of an error, verify if an output is actually functionally correct, not just semantically pleasing to read, and calculate the ROI. Look, it's essentially high school math, but because you're guaranteeing cost efficiency for massive enterprise systems, it pays like a senior engineering role. Which brings us to our final section, number 5, your operational leverage playbook. Okay, we've covered the theory, the hard data, and the specific skills. Now, how do you, as a professional with a mortgage, maybe a family, safely transition into this new reality without making some reckless, risky career pivot? Well, we're drawing on the action framework from the 44 Signal, which is a strategic intelligence platform tracking this exact economic shift. Here is your 4-step playbook. 1. Map your current workflow. Find those repetitive analysis and reporting bottlenecks, because those are your prime AI leverage points. 2. Increase your scope visibility. Use AI to simulate operational improvements and create executive briefs. Basically, become the person in the room who sees further down the road. 3. Attach your AI fluency directly to revenue, cost reduction, or risk mitigation. Rule of thumb, if it doesn't touch the flow of capital, it doesn't matter. And 4, build regional awareness. Position yourself inside the strength corridors of your local economy, whether that happens to be healthcare, logistics, or finance. The data here is incredibly clear. The demand is there, the tools are highly accessible, and the need for human judgment is higher than it has literally ever been. So I leave you with this. Knowing what you know now about the great skill repricing, are you going to stand by and let AI compress your career into a commodity? Or will you build these skills, step right into the control tower, and become the highly paid operator running the systems of tomorrow? The choice is entirely yours.